Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Generational Sports. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday. Josh, is October already. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I don't like that we're about to discuss week 5 of the NFL. It's going too fast.
Yeah, kind of gross. Kind of gross. I'm not going to lie to you. I keep seeing that commercial. I can't even remember what it's for, like what it's actually for. But I see the commercial all the time where it's like, pretty soon a cold night in Buffalo. It's just going to be a cold night in Buffalo and like not have like a NFL. I think it's for NFL shop. It's like people buying jerseys and it's like, a cold night in Buffalo like this, but you got to treasure the moments because pretty soon a cold night in Buffalo is just a cold night in Buffalo because there's no football on. Week 5 already. I mean,
Too fast.
Quarter of the way through the season if we were still playing 16 games.
The only thing that really saves it is that the NBA kicks off soon. I think, actually, preseason, we might have to slide another thing in here because we got to do award predictions and championship predictions before the season starts.
When does the season start before next week?
Preseason, I think, might start this weekend.
Well, yeah, that's the preseason, though. We don't got to make.
But we still got to get our predictions in.
Yeah, we'll do it next week.
All right.
We'll do it next week. We got some NBA on here already. I got to get through Monday Night Football.
That's also true. There might be some more trades still to go down, so who knows?
Hey, you never know what's going to happen in the wonderful world of the NBA. I was about to say the MLB. Then again, the MLB playoffs start.
My first season as a fan, and you got on me like, how'd you become a Panthers fan? Aren't you all Chicago? I am a Cubs fan, and it was a tough first season as watching and keeping up with baseball.
I mean, listen, were there expectations? They did pretty good.
Yeah, but to get that close and then drop like what was like 17 of their last 20 they dropped?
Yeah, it's not exactly what you want.
No. I mean, I didn't have expectations coming in because, we traded, everyone from the championship team a couple years ago. We brought in Dansby Swanson, which I liked, but then, we get
Cody Bellinger had a career rebirth.
After the All-Star break, I was like, hey, this team is kind of figuring it out, and then just fell apart. Well,
listen, Josh, at least you got to have fun at any point throughout the year.
Yours was the opposite. High expectations.
Yankees should be playing right now. You're supposed to be in the World Series. Favorites to win the AL. Didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah,
2 games above 500.
Tough.
The only bright spot, Garrett Cole's going to win the Cy Young Award.
Cool, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a.
Yeah, like you got a player.
Still have to. This man Aaron Judge did hit 38 home runs and missed, I believe, a third of the season.
Yeah. So for what he played, he was still a beast.
38 home runs and missing a third of the season. Do you know how outrageous that is?
What pace is that? What pace? Like that's
he would have hit another 60 again.
That's crazy.
He was on a 60 home run pace back-to-back years.
Damn.
And all because the Dodgers had a trash wall in their stadium. We didn't get to see that.
That's true.
This man broke the gate of their wall. Messes up his toe. And I don't get to see Aaron Judge a full season. Makes me disgusted. Makes me sick. Anyway. You doing good, Josh, though? Huh?
Yeah. Actually. Nothing to complain about.
Oh, my God.
I have not a single.
Call the president.
They even kind of fixed the road. Fixed the road. Yeah, now it's just like a gravel road. So, it's not good, but it's not bad. So, I guess things are looking up. Things are going up.
Listen, this is something to be celebrated, if I'm being honest with you, because.
And I took the weekend off of betting-wise just to enjoy football. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful. It wasn't stressing. I knew the Panthers were going to suck, so that didn't hurt too much. So I was like, just enjoying football.
I got to get into it with you about the Panthers for a little minute later on in the show. We'll leave it for later.
I don't put them on the dock for a reason. I don't like talking about them right now. I'll go on a rant mid-season, but giving them a chance to turn.
It's not like I can talk. I'm
giving them a chance to turn.
Listen, let me tell you, Gridiron, this is some good betting advice right here. CMC doing MVP plus 1,800. if you're bored, can afford it, I'd throw a 50 piece on it.
Guess who's plus 1,600?
1,600?
Brock Purdy. So that just tells you, I mean, I like the odds just because he should. If he keeps up this pace,
he's
he'll
on
rise.
Pace for like 30 something total touchdowns.
Yeah, no, if he keeps up this pace and has just an insane season like it's looking like he will, the fact that even right now Brock Purdy is ahead of him betting wise in the odds, it's never gonna. You got to break multiple records and then still you might finish third if there's a very good quarterback.
What did Cooper Kupp? Cooper Kupp won the technically like the quadruple crown.
Yeah,
because he had the most yards after the catch as well.
And who won?
And he got one MVP vote. It was the first one for a wide receiver since like Randy Moss, and not even in the 07 season. I don't think. I would think it was in the 90s.
That was 2 years ago. That was Rodgers. That was a Rodgers MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Kupp got one vote, and I think it was like a fourth place vote.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Quarterback league, quarterback award.
It is. It's certainly something. I'll tell you that.
The offensive player of the year is just this guy would have won MVP, but
this guy could be an MVP, but quarterbacks, still exist in this league.
The non-quarterback MVP award.
That is what it is. They should just make the best quarterback award and then MVP.
Yeah, I mean,
but then again, I feel like they would give the best quarterback award to the MVP or the MVP to the best quarterback award anyway, because who cares? Listen, let's go on to the NBA. Believe it or not, we're going to start it off with, because when big things happen, you got to talk about. Listen, is it the NFL season? Absolutely. Watching Monday Night Football countdown right there on the television screen. But some NBA things happen here, people, and we got to talk about it. Because the biggest thing, and not only did he get traded, but he also dropped a song about getting traded. Damian Lillard goes over to the Bucks. The Trailblazers, now they're getting DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, multiple first-round picks. Celtics got Drew Holiday. Suns get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson. I mean, listen, what are we talking about here? That's a lot of moving parts to this situation. Now, obviously, the initial Drew Holiday trade was that he was going back over to the Blazers. And the Blazers turned around and said, "Now we're good, pal. Celtics, you can have him." That's where Robert Williams and players of that nature came from. But I mean, hey, we're talking about a Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo little duo here. You got the over. I mean, Josh, I tend to overreact. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, how can you not say it sort of is?
I mean, arguably the best player in the world, and Dame. I think when you look at like the best players in the world and their co-stars, Dame's better than Harden. Giannis is better than Embiid. Giannis, KD, you can argue about it all you want. I would take Giannis at this point in their careers, where we are current day. Devin Booker or Damian Lillard, an argument as well. But I would take Giannis and Dame. And then the real one is Jokic versus Giannis, and then Murray versus Dame. That's just an opinion on how you feel about Murray and where Dame is in his career. But no, I think this might be the best duo in the league, just how they fit together.
Well, I was going to say, especially the fit, because now you have what? I mean, I don't think it's going out exactly on a limb here. The best inside scorer in the NBA and just an absolute lethal clutch shooter on the outside.
Yeah, if the best shooter to ever live wasn't in the league, Dame's the best perimeter scorer in the game. Like it's insane what they were just able. And honestly, like it's crazy that the Heat are kind of like. Did you see the Jimmy Butler video where he was like,
"Where tampering? Are you?"
Like what? Well, not that too. I love what he does at media day with the hair.
He's so disgusted that they couldn't get Damian Lillard that he's emo now.
Well, he also said when the trade dropped, he was like, they need to look in the Bucks for tampering. I didn't hear from me. Well, the offers, now when you kind of stack it up, they were offering Tyler Hero versus, Drew Holiday. And it's like, who do we think you're basically trading for someone to trade them again, which is what the Blazers did.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the Bucks were just sitting there like, yeah, we'll wait. We'll give up Drew eventually, but we'll see if they figure out something with Miami. I think it was a better return here. Dame said only Miami, but the offer is just not good. Like Tyler Hero, I think can be a great player, will be, a walking bucket in this league for a long time, but I don't think he's ever going to really improve that much as a defender. And we'll see
Mhm.
about like the playmaking and what kind of, true guard he becomes eventually. But Drew Holiday, contenders are going to go after him, which is what Boston did. And Boston they just keep getting better somehow. They just always stick their fingers in these trades and let me get a little piece out of here. Don't even say I didn't even say anything weird. Just let me get whatever you don't want. And it winds up being, just the best part of the trade. They wind up winning. But I think all four teams won this trade, honestly. Giannis has been anytime that man is in front of a camera or in a microphone, he's said for 2 years, like, hey, I will leave. Like, if you guys don't start
Like,
doing something, I will leave. He's just been saying that, like,
like,
nonchalantly.
do not test me because
Yeah, like, Drew
like
Holiday, old. So, if we don't figure something out,
let's let's
I'm
start
gone.
moving here, guys. All right.
Yeah, I'm gone if we don't. And they went and got Damian Lillard, who is a walking 30 points a game, dropped 71 last year. We all know what Damian Lillard can do in the playoffs, and now he has the best teammate he's ever had. Giannis has the best teammate he's ever had. And the Bucks only had to really give up. Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen's gone. I don't think that impacts them as much as missing Drew's defense. Um, and I don't think, everyone's saying that, like, the Blazers kind of are taking a risk here because Drew Holiday is a great defender. It's like, I think the gap between Dame and Drew defensively is a lot smaller than the gap between offensively. Like, Dame is
Oh,
so
I
much
mean,
better offensively than Drew is
Dame's a
keeping.
walking 30 piece.
Exactly. He can take over a game at any moment. Now you got two guys who can do that. So I think playoff time we'll see, but Dame's a well known, great playoff player. He dragged that Blazers team to the conference finals in 2020. Uh, for the
Got into
Celtics,
the playoffs year after year.
yeah, I mean, they're always in the playoffs. But the Celtics, obviously, you get Drew Holiday, a great perimeter defender. I think losing Robert Williams might hurt down the line. Kristaps Porzingis, kind of injury prone. Also, not the
Never been a fan,
best.
by the way.
Yeah, also not the best interior defender. He's not trash because I mean he's 7'3", so he's got some skill down there. But now you're depending on old man Al Horford, and I know a lot of people are saying like, well, Robert Williams didn't do anything in the Bucks series. It's like, well, now you don't have Robert Williams. Instead of only worrying about Giannis, you are now also worrying about Damian Lillard. So like, yeah, you got a better guard, better perimeter defense, but you're gonna need a lot of help down low. And if you make that your focal point, Dame's gonna average 40 against you. Uh, for the Blazers, I like the return they got. DeAndre Ayton, I think he kind of is in a situation now where he can be like, hey, I feel like I'm a guy in this league. Like I've grown since, and he kind of when he started getting better, the Suns other players got better than him. Like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal's there now. Chris Paul was better, so he was like third or fourth option for the past 3 or 4 years. They also get Brogdon, who I think they'll probably flip again because a contender like the Clippers maybe want him or something. Maybe that's who Miami winds up making a deal for is Malcolm Brogdon because he's a veteran guard that can do a lot of work for some contenders out there. I think that Robert Williams, they say they're going to pair him with Ayton. It's an interesting pairing, but we'll see how it works out or if they get a good offer for him. And then the Suns, you add depth. Yusuf Nurkic is worse than Ayton, but I think he's a better fit for Phoenix. Ayton needs the ball to be productive offensively. Nurkic doesn't. I think they're about the same level defensively. Maybe Ayton's better, but not by a huge margin. Grayson Allen is a great role player for them. He's been very good for the Bucks over the past couple of years. Keon Johnson, Nazir Little, two young guys that you're not going to ask too much out of, and maybe they can find a role there. But I think all four teams walk away from this trade very happy.
Talk about a rare thing in the
Mm-hmm.
NBA, or not the NBA, in any sport where all the teams feel like, they came out ahead. And even the fan bases, I haven't seen any like, oh my God, I can't believe we only got this or that, with these
Mm-hmm.
trades. And that's saying something. So can someone please get Harden out of Philly? They're trying.
They're trying. He's trying. Other teams are trying, but he's still there. For some reason, it's a crazy story.
I wonder what it is.
My guess is where he ends up if he does wind up somewhere, because he's not at training camp. So I'm guessing they were still going to trade him at some point. My two finalists are still the Clippers and Toronto. I think Toronto has good assets. Yeah, but I mean, if he wants out, and he wants to play this year, he's going to have to accept it at some point. Like, if he wants gone, I don't think the destination is huge right now. You got your money. So, request another trade if you don't like it, but you got to play.
I was going to say, he's going to get traded to Toronto and be like, listen, thanks for getting me out of there. Don't want to be here either, though.
Then I think at that point, if he's not even willing to play for where he's traded to, he's just going to sit for 3 years, collect his money, because nobody's going to want that. Like, if we're trading for you and we got a good roster, but it's not up to your standards, like, dude, I don't care. Sit at home. You screwed us. But I think the Clippers, still should happen. I don't know what the heck that package is going to look like because they don't have assets either. But James Harden might get traded for Robert Covington straight up.
They're about to need like a 2043 first-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of picks out there for these contending teams to use.
Certainly is not. All right, let's get into Monday Night Football as we transition over to the NFL. We got the Seahawks coming over to my side of the country. All right, Josh? Not only to the side of my – actually, I was going to say my state. They're in Jersey, though. Let's be honest here. Should be the New Jersey Giants and Jets. Still using that New York name for clout. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to be Jersey either.
The J combined with the other J and the G, I just don't like the way that flows. New Jersey Jets, I don't like that.
Why, you don't like the NJJ?
I don't know, like,
or the NJG.
Even my name sometimes like really annoys me when I say it, and it like Josh Linares, the SH followed by an L, Schla. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie.
How do you feel about mine, Josh? Is mine fine, Anthony Conover?
Yeah, yours flows Anthony Conover. Like it's a good flow. That's why a lot of times I'll say Joshua Linares if I'm doing it in like a professional setting. I just don't like
you doing, so Joshua Linares here. Yeah.
Just Schla. I don't like the Schla.
So it's Linares?
Linares.
I feel like I always say
everyone says Ares, Linares.
Yeah, I think I've been an Ares guy.
I
mean, not that I ever say it.
ARE.
Yeah, I mean,
that's always my argument, but I get it.
I mean, listen, I've gotten Conover. Yeah,
I bet.
Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I don't even get annoyed anymore. People, I just let people say it how they say it. Honestly, unless I'm like close to them, I'm like it's Linares. But regular people, I'm like, you don't know it. I'm not taking the time.
Who am I to correct my own name or anything? Yeah. But Seattle is taking on the Giants. No Saquon once again, as he has been ruled inactive for this game with that ankle sprain. I don't know if it's a high ankle or just a normal one. Low ankle.
I think they said they've never seen. I think they said when it happened, they've never seen an ankle sprain lower. So it's a low.
Are you screwing with me right now? Or are you being serious?
No, that's what they said when it happened. They said like it's so low, it's weird. Like I think that's why it was so severe. Is because
whenever it's weird, and obviously I am no doctor. In fact, I should probably see one. Whenever someone twists an ankle, they all look the same to me. So and like I think of twisting an ankle like what are the little things on the side of your ankles? I always think of like that part hurting. You know what I mean? Like because if I ever twist an ankle,
I think it depends on like the aggression of it too. Like when you roll on that thing, like it can strain the crap out of like your shin area and just right there. It just depends on kind of the impact or the angle. Like I rolled my ankle sophomore year. Man, I thought I was done forever. Like in the moment, I was like, "Oh, I'm probably gonna lose this foot."
Nah, you know what? The funniest thing is, and I was talking about this with somebody. It's the same way when you're sick.
Yeah,
like when you're sick, you're like, I have no idea what normal life is.
When I couldn't see, I was like, what does it feel like to just look?
Well, I had that upper respiratory infection when I got back from the cruise or whatever. I'm sitting there. I'm like, bro, I'm never gonna go through life again without coughing it.
Gonna
Like
live
I'm
in an
going to,
iron lung the rest of my life.
I am going to have to cough every single day of my life, and I will never be able to, breathe normally again.
I
I'm
had
telling
something in
you.
my eye
I am
yesterday,
telling
bro.
you.
Got
I
so
had to
nervous.
walk up the stairs at the Renegades that one time. That's when I knew I had to go to the doctor. I'm probably out of breath because I'm fat anyway. But I walked up those stairs. I could literally. It was like I was like, oh my god.
Oh
I
God,
gotta go see somebody.
I'm either 70 years old all of a sudden, or something's
Bro,
wrong.
it was the lungs were going through it. The mucus was festering. I'm gonna go with I mean I'm you see, Josh, I always forget again how our Monday night picks work. Do we have to stay with our original one that we did last Monday? Do we change it to this one? Like I always forget. But anyway, I'm going with Seattle. Listen, I just a high scoring offense. Giants defense has been playing well, but you know who has the worst record in prime time since 1970? And why am I so specific? Because I just saw it scroll across the bottom of the screen of ESPN. I don't actually know that off the top of my head. You know who it is?
It's gotta be. It's 50-50 shot here. It's gotta be one of these two teams.
No. Player wise.
Oh, player wise, guessing it's got to be one of these two teams. Maybe.
Well, obviously,
Are they active?
they're playing tonight.
Is it Geno Smith?
Daniel Jones is
Damn, I
one.
was
Daniel
50-50
Jones
shot
is
that one.
1-11 in primetime games. 1-11. I mean, listen,
That's
we
tough.
sit here and talk about Kirk Cousins all the time. I mean, Danny Dimes. What are we doing here, kid?
That's a terrible name for a guy with his play style. Terrible nickname.
Well, and people go with the Vanilla Vic thing. But I feel like that's even worse because I feel like that's disrespectful to Michael Vick.
Yeah, and the athleticism is not the same there. Not quite the same.
No, but I expect some good things out of DK. Obviously, Tyler Lockett always seems to get 100 yards and 3 touchdowns randomly, and will also never gets hit in the process. You ever seen Tyler Lockett get hit? Man
By the
catches the
ground
ball,
when he falls on it.
immediate armadillo.
Yeah,
Immediate armadillo.
beautiful. I love to see it.
I mean, listen, as a smaller wide receiver, it's a smart thing to do. I mean, you see Tyreek do it too. Tyreek runs out of bounds a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't exactly see him, lowering the shoulder or anything.
Yeah, the small receivers need to watch what Lockett does and be like, that's why he's still here producing, because his body feels like it did 8 years ago because he doesn't get hit.
Because the only thing tackling him is grass.
Turf monster. In this game, I don't expect anything. I think this is going to be an ugly game, like disgustingly ugly. Like the Seahawks have been putting up points, but it's kind of like not been a lot to their credit. Like the Detroit game, I wouldn't say that offense was flowing. I think Detroit just gave up a lot. There was a pick 6 in that game too. The Giants obviously have had a very rough start to this season, and now they're both in the primetime slot. 2 quarterbacks who have gotten paid. Their money is there, but have not been amazing this season. 2 offenses that have question marks in a few spots. I don't know. I expect it to be ugly. I think the over-under was 46.5. I think that's what it is. I'd probably take the over there, just because I could see, an easy pick 6 somewhere in this game, fumble return, and, teams are fighting towards the end, field goal gets it over, something like that. But, yeah, I'm sticking with the Seahawks because you just told me 1-11 with Daniel Jones, so I'm definitely not flipping. But
0-6 on Monday Night Football.
This is a game where, I will probably be playing a video game while this game is on in the background. Like, that is...
It's one of those nights?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, most of the primetime games have been that.
I don't know what it is, bro. Like, it's all primetime games. It's not like it's usually... Because, back in the day, it used to be like, Thursday Night Football games are awful.
Yeah.
And then it was like, but the Monday night and the Sundays are usually good. And then it was like...
Sunday night's kind of falling off, right?
Yeah, Sunday night fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
and now they're all just awful.
I feel like I've watched Pittsburgh and Cleveland play 8 primetime games this year. Like I feel like that's happened already. Every game features them or the Raiders. It's been every week. It feels like.
Yeah, it is just. Weirdly enough, I feel like it is that fatigue though too. That
Definitely.
like I understand some teams aren't good, and they're only doing it for the ratings, but Jesus, put somebody else on. Like, do me a favor, I'm begging you here.
Yeah.
Like, put some of the bad teams on. Sometimes they're entertaining.
I wish it was a lot easier to flex games, but with all like the travel and weak schedules, like it's impossible to like when Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. It's like, oh, Sunday night Chiefs versus whoever. We gotta flip that. Like it can't be Zach Wilson.
You obviously give credit where credit is due. Sunday night was supposed to be a terrible game because Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Chiefs Jets ended up obviously being a pretty solid game.
What was that?
What?
Why was that? Did something change with the Jets? I couldn't.
Josh, am I supposed to like?
Was it a good game? I thought the Jets stink. Their offense can't do anything.
I mean, they still only scored
because of one guy, right? What?
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
Oh, so that game sucked. I thought you said it was a good game.
It was a good game.
Oh, so Breece Hall went off for like 250, right?
So what? All of a sudden, Zach Wilson's a god? Is that what we're trying to do here?
All I'm saying is, dude balled, and I said he can. He balled out against a defense that gave up. How many points did Trevor Lawrence put up on that defense?
No.
How many points did Trevor Lawrence put up on that same defense?
See, here's what I want to know, Josh. Here's what I want to know. You come at me all the time when I do my wide receiver rankings about Cooper Kupp, right? He's not good.
Singular episode that happened.
Okay, still happened.
And I'm right on that.
And he had a full. How are you right? He had a full season, got an MVP vote. This man Zach Wilson on a good quarter.
No, he's had many, many good moments. No, one good quarter. He was good that whole game.
Whole game is a stretch.
One play he was bad.
Why did they lose? This man doesn't.
They lost because they couldn't get a stop. They couldn't get a stop late to get the ball back.
Which, by the way, a fun little argument here, but that is some terrible refereeing.
And that, yeah.
I listen. You cannot tell me that was a hold on Sauce. And the play before 3rd and 22 or whatever, the left tackle is hugging whatever defender that is, and former NFL refs came out were like, oh, as long as he's standing straight up, or as long as this isn't happening, it's not all. His hands are inside his shoulder pads. And you can see him at one point try and get away, and you can literally see a full jersey tug. I was watching it live, and I was like, that's a hold. They're going to call a flag. This play coming back. And then I never saw a flag, and I was like.
When pass rushers because pass rushers know O-linemen get away with a lot of grabbing and tugging and pulling. When they Johnson's arm went up like this, like, hey, look over here. He's got me. When D linemen are doing that, you know it's egregious. And, I literally can't move because he's holding me. Like, this is a play. And that the only way I could see that holding on Sauce get called is if, the ball's in the air when he's doing it. But when it has no, real impact like that, that's just such a crazy call to make. And it's not good. But, Zach Wilson might be back.
He might be.
Take all his overs against Denver upcoming, too. It's going to be a good 2 weeks for me.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. A little foreshadowing into the picks. I'm taking the Jets over Denver.
Looks like that's one we agree on.
And it's not because of Zach Wilson, though.
I'm going to say because it is.
Of course.
We're both on the Jets because Zach Wilson's like that.
Yeah. Whatever. Listen, Josh.
Back shoulder king, some are calling him.
Yeah?
That's what some are saying.
I mean, I'd like to see one person say it besides you, but.
I've heard some people say it. Streets are saying it.
Yeah, the streets are saying it. Yeah. Well, Josh, you out in the streets, huh?
Yeah, I get my ear on the ground. You know what it is.
Well, how you doing? Let's go into some other games. Listen, this one is not on the docket here, but I feel like it has to be discussed, mainly because I put it in the episode title. Actually, let's answer Gridiron's question first. What do you guys think about Aaron Rodgers saying he wants to play again this season? Hey, modern medicine is a wonderful thing. And he did not get like a full Achilles repair. It was like a bridge thing that they, do some fancy stuff and the what's it called? The recovery. That's the word I was looking for. It's supposed to be much shorter. Apparently, it's the same one that Cam Akers got in what? He was back in like 8 months or something like that?
No, he was back in like 4. It's like 4.5. He was back very quick.
Listen, he's also
he got injured like week 2. He got injured like week 2 preseason and was back playoff time.
He's much younger.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool, but don't go crazy. Like,
I want to do a lot
quarterback Aaron Rodgers, I think, has a nice ring to it. Like, if you dress him, and if we absolutely have no other options, then we'll take the risk. But he's already committed to playing next year. So if I'm Robert Saleh, I'm like, let's bank on that, man. Like, if we make the playoffs this year, then cool, And if Rodgers is completely healthy at that point, then maybe we have a discussion about it. But if I'm Saleh and I'm that front office, no rush. He's playing next year, cool. We got our guys locked up.
Once you commit to playing next season, to me, this year is a dub.
Yeah, it's a wash. Zach Wilson can get it done, cool. But I'm not rushing the guy that's supposed to save us and win us a title back. I'm not rushing that. Because you only got one shot at it now. You have one shot at it.
4 plays.
Man, that's so stupid.
We were live, Josh.
But, like, I wasn't watching it, so when you were saying, like, he was down and all that, and I didn't see him get on the cart, like you said he's going on the cart, and that's when I was like, oh, so it's, like, not good at all.
I mean, you remember I was flabbergasted. Yeah. Led astray, run amok.
Yeah, crazy. Don't worry, Young King got him, though. Milf Hunter. Back shoulder king.
Some people see what I saw the street saying was that he was playing well because Donna Kelsey was there.
Could be it. Always good to have extra motivation there.
Maybe he wants to, start dating some famous people too. Kelsey's got, Swift.
Screw Rodney Harrison. Is that the guy that was
posting? That was talking
smack? Screw him, dude. What a bum.
Said he's garbage.
What a bum. Trying to go freaking Chris Jones and is saying stuff too. Shout out Chris Jones, shout out Michael Parsons. The guys that play against him see what he is. So he's a beast. He's a star. Well, Michael Parsons said something I didn't like. He said he's special in his own way. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like the first part.
That's a good way to describe him.
I like the first part, but the ending, I was like, it kind of sounds
it's like the little kid that smacks their head against the table, and the parents are like, those are
the participation trophies you don't like.
Yeah.
Especially with your own way.
They just lost 45-0, but they get a trophy too. Thanks for showing up. I'm telling you. No participation trophies for the kids that I coach. They're gonna the founder of the league.
We don't live near each other, because if you were the coach of my kids and I saw you take a trophy out of his hands, man.
Oh no, see, Josh, that's the difference. No, Josh, see, you wouldn't have to worry about that because it would never get to his hands.
Because you're not touching them, so why would they?
Hey, see, the only way that I'm touching them, you know what I would say? Listen, kids, line up, all right? Get your bats out. We're taking BP. End of the season BP. And I'm throwing each and one of those trophies up to one of the kids that was supposed to get it.
I think the worst scenario of you coaching your kids' teams is you winning it all. Because you would talk shit to all those other little kids and their parents. You would go crazy.
Like, yeah, you remember when you wanted me to draft a little Jimmy on our team? You kept telling me that my kid was only playing because I was his dad.
I told you he was trash. I told you he was
How's
trash.
his trophy look? Hey, listen, got a ride or die. Anyway, Bills destroyed the Dolphins, as we all saw coming. As obviously, me and Josh definitely didn't pick Miami.
I tried to get you to take your guy.
I know you did.
Maybe
can you really? No. But can you really blame us, Josh?
They put up 70. They put
70
up 70
points.
How do you not pick that team the next week?
And the defense wasn't even playing bad.
Yeah.
And then
no
all of a
injuries
sudden,
to the offense either.
And then you know what? You know what the worst part is, Josh? I felt even more confident going into the game because the game
Early, I was
started.
like, yeah, the Dolphins
Not
are
even
rolling.
that. Not even that. Before the game even starts, all of a sudden comes out that Jordan Poyer's not playing. I was like, oh my god, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, no Jordan Poyer. What are we talking about?
But then DeMar Hamlin dressed, so we should have been like, well, great. They're going to win this shit.
Listen, great story.
I don't like all the haters in the comments, like, when they're like, DeMar Hamlin is also inactive for this game. They're like, wow, so he's trash? It's like, all right, last year when he was playing, both their starting safeties were out. So, yes, he's not a starter with two all-pro safeties. Like, no, but, like, the fact that he's up playing football again and is active enough to make the roster still, like, why would you even, like, want to say something negative? Like, this is awesome. The man is dressing for an NFL game when last year we were fearing the worst for it. Like, it's amazing that he's out there still.
Some people can't be as nice as me, Josh.
Some people just choose to have a lot of anger and say negative things. I think that's a bad life choice, if you ask me.
You know what? I think maybe we should start a philosophy podcast too. Ways to think.
I like that, but I'm bad with words, so I might be cringy on my part.
You're bad with words, yet I chose you as a co-host. This is just...
I mean, when my brain gets going, it happens on the sports-wise, I'm on it. Philosophy, I don't know where that's going to go from.
You should do this because I really think it would help you.
You should do it because, well, you know what they say.
Why not?
Horseshoes and hand grenades. That's what they say.
This man Stephon Diggs goes crazy, 3 touchdowns. You know, you would think you would make a nice little coaching adjustment there and not have, I can't remember his dude's name. It was something weird. Koa? The cornerback for the Dolphins. It was something of that nature. You would think that you would take, you know, Xavier Howard is still on the team, correct, Josh? I didn't miss anything.
I think so.
See, that wasn't supposed to be a hypothetical question. I'm pretty sure. You know, now I got to look it up. Now you're making me insecure.
I thought it was a hypothetical. That's why I answered it in a sarcastic.
I see. I was looking for yeah, he is. No. So he is, yeah. Quarterback.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on the team. Quarterback on the team starting. Played in that game. You would think that maybe after the first touchdown, right? Maybe you give the other guy a chance to start off the game. After the first touchdown, you say, listen, David, I'm going to need you to shadow Diggs because he's obviously their best player. You're supposed to be our best guy, you know. Jalen Ramsey got hurt. I believe it was in the preseason or training camp, somewhere of that nature. He'll be back eventually, I think. But what was his injury again? Do we know?
So many injuries to keep track of. And that was ages ago.
And I mean, you want to talk about my day getting even worse. Out indefinitely, Matthew Judon, Christian Gonzalez. Indefinitely.
Saw that.
I mean, what's the point of the Patriots even taking the field?
Because Mac, he's a guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can get into that. But anyway, then after the second touchdown, you'd really think that they're going to switch him over. And they don't, so he just goes on to score a third. I mean, that was a very impressive win. I feel that was one of those wins where it's like, why are you guys talking about them? Like that, it felt like they were disrespected in their own heads.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they were still favorites in the game, people still picked them to win that game. I feel as if they were like, why are you picking them to win over us? Like, do you know who we are?
Right.
And they probably used it as motivation. Well, they went out there and did exactly what they had to do. I mean, Josh, I didn't realize it either, too, honestly, even though Josh Allen's my guy. Over the last 3 games, we all talked about week 1, how awful it was. Just take a look at the next 3 games that Josh Allen did and put up. And that team's just been on a roll. They hung, 37? We all talked about 70 for the Dolphins, rightfully so. They hung 37 against the Commanders.
Yeah.
They hung 40 on the Dolphins. I believe the week after the Jet game, I think in week 2 they played the Raiders, I want to say.
Yep. And they put like 37 on them.
Yeah,
So.
they destroyed them. I think Josh Allen had 4 incompletions or something of that nature in that
4
game.
touchdowns and incompletions.
So we obviously the conversation was on Miami, but those Bills continue to be a wagon.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen is the favorite right now to win MVP. I think it's him and Mahomes. I think those are the 3 favorites right now. So the next time I don't know what week the Dolphins and Bills meet again. That could be who wins the MVP game. Like if both these players keep it up, and they're the 2 finalists, could be like, well, 2 won the duel at the end of the season. But yeah, this game I agree. This was kind of like why are you talking about them? We are better. Like we not been in the playoffs.
Did you forget who we are?
Yeah. So they balled out. That Diggs touchdown where he shook 2 guys and went down the sideline nasty. Gabe Davis anytime touchdown is something people should just do. Actually, I didn't take the full weekend off betting. I did do an anytime because I got a bonus on it. And I thought it was going to hit, man. Gabe Davis, DJ Moore, Tank Dell, anytime touchdown. Gabe Davis, first touchdown of the day. Right after that DJ toe tap in the end zone, I was like, oh my God, CJ Stroud is throwing a touchdown to Tank Dell. Like, that is happening. No, Nico Collins just got all the looks.
By the way, Nico Collins, very slow man.
Yeah, he's got that.
Maybe not slow, but like very awkward, unathletic runner. And I know
it doesn't look like he's fast, but he's fast. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like obviously, look who that's coming from, unathletic runner. I mean, what are we talking about here? But just watching the highlights, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like he runs very straight up. You know,
like sprinter form, kind of.
Like he is great posture.
Yeah. Got no back
about posture. Just have him go take a look at him taking a run. We'll go on from there though. Commanders and the Eagles. Much closer game than people probably thought, especially after the Commanders got absolutely demolished 37-3 against the Bills the last week. Game goes into overtime. Eagles with a nasty double move from A.J. Brown score a touchdown with about a minute 30 left in the game, I want to say. Sam Howell, though, takes him right down to the field. Pass with 5 seconds left before the goal line. Luckily, it was an incompletion because it wasn't going to be a touchdown, and they obviously weren't going to be able to spike the ball. Leaves him with 2 seconds left. This man throws a dart into the end zone, forces overtime. After the game, why don't you go for 2 there, Mr. Ron Rivera? Our guys were too tired.
Riverboat. Who cares?
No. See, Josh, and I heard this, throughout my day where I was watching, all the sports shows and things of that nature. Tell me if this makes sense to you, Josh. So they were too tired to go for 2, correct? Right?
Yeah. Pack it
Not up too tired to go play an entire overtime period?
No, just need a quick breather. Quick breather.
But they can play the full overtime if we don't get if we kick the field goal, right? Or the extra point.
The guys are tired. Okay.
Just needed a 30-second, a little break.
Yeah.
Bold strategy. Bold strategy. Listen, I'm not a fan of really. I say that, but I am also not really a fan of going for 2 in that situation, unless you really need it. You know what I mean?
I think I'm a fan of it when it's not my season on the line. Like when my season's on the line, let's go into overtime, see what happens there. Like when it's a game like this where the Commanders are on to an impressive start this season, the team has looked better than I think all of us kind of saw it being. And you have a chance to knock off the division champs, the conference champs, and, you clawed and scratched your way. Yeah, like you probably shouldn't be in this game, and now you're in a position where, guess what? Your guys might be tired, but you also just drove them down the field. So that defense is not 100% stamina either. Like, they're not feeling great. So I think they should go for it in a situation like that. Playoff season on the line, I don't think so. Or if you're confident you'll win in overtime, how are you Washington? You're like, we can go into overtime and win. Like, no, you have to win the coin toss to win. Like that's it. It's a coin toss or we go for it.
What was the other thing I was just about to say? Oh, I'm going to be so annoyed now. I can't remember what it is. I hope it comes back to me because I know it was just an unbelievably good point. But I can't think of it now. I mean, listen, I don't know if Sam Howell showed me enough to be confident that he's a 100% like franchise quarterback, build the team around him. But you keep putting together good games and you eventually get there because you're happy with this one. And that's the thing that obviously I get caught up in, you get caught up in, everybody gets caught up in is the last thing that you saw is how you feel about them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the last thing we saw. Sam Howell looked good. Damn, is he a franchise quarterback? If you asked the exact same question last week where he threw 3 interceptions, you'd be like, this guy, I mean, can the Commanders just tank? You got a new quarterback? What are you doing here? Week 1, Josh Allen. Not to mention, he's had 4 good seasons previous.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen after week 1, I think he's lost it. I think he's lost a step. It might be over for the kid. It was a good run, buddy. Try again next year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now, MVP favorite. I mean, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. So you can't really get caught up in the whole, last thing that you saw is the greatest thing that's ever happened. But Sam Howell has looked good in moments. Do what he's supposed to do. That's what we really have to realize. It's his first year as a starter. I believe it's his second season in the league, right?
Played one game, started the last game of the year.
Yeah, the last game of the season, and then that's also when Ron Rivera came out and was like, oh, I didn't realize that this guy was actually good at football.
When did he get here? When did he get here?
Which is, it's been a tough time for Riverboat recently.
Yeah, it hasn't been going great for him, I'd say.
But he looked good. He did what he had to do, and obviously, if he keeps going that way, that's when
I think Sam Howell. I think a decade ago, like if this was 2013 and Washington had him and he was doing what he's doing, it's like, yeah, this guy's a franchise guy. Like, because the team is okay, the defense front 7, magnificent over there. They got a young secondary that's got a lot of room to grow. AJ Brown, son to their first round pick to win the game. So it's that defense has got some growing in the secondary, but the front 7's great. You got a good running back duo in Brian Robertson and Antonio Gibson. You got a good trio of receivers, Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and Eric Bieniemy, who's a great play caller who's showing it this season. And I'm sure that offense is complex. Like, I don't think Eric Bieniemy's out here running, very simple plays and concepts with the talent they have. So I think Sam Howell, if Joe Flacco was good enough to be a franchise quarterback at one point and won a Super Bowl, won a lot of games, I think he's good enough right now to where they have a good enough roster to where you're not rushing to draft a quarterback right away. Like if Drake May falls in your lap somehow in the draft, like if their season falls off and their top 6 pick and Drake May is there when they're picking, then I can understand it. But other than that, I think, Sam Howell is playing really, really good. All the interceptions the week before, tough. But, I mean, he's young. Jalen Hurts did a lot of that too. Josh Allen did a lot of that too. I'm not saying he's got to be that level, but, you got to take it with a grain of salt when a guy's only in his, 5th start. So I think they have something there. He's obviously good enough. Like, getting the ball to Scary Terry and Jahan Dotson is not something a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL can really do. Like, when you have talent out there, you have to get them the ball and not just on specific designed plays. Like, you got to be able to know when they're going to be doing something else. So I think he's good enough that I would be comfortable moving forward for next couple years to see how far can he take us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if he falls off throughout the rest of the season, okay, never mind. We're gonna have to make a change. We thought he was good enough. He's not. If he gets even better, then you move forward again. Like, that's the thing that we always do as well, is that like the decision now has to be the decision forever, where instead it should just be like, okay, let's take it year by year sometime. And listen, do you want that with your quarterback situation? Probably not. Like, do you really want to be going year by year? But when it's a young quarterback, that's kind of what you also have to do. Like, I feel like the days of coming out of college and just lighting up the league is kind of over in a tiny bit. Because, I mean, then again, you kind of look at CJ Stroud right now, which we'll get into later. But for the most part, you definitely don't see people coming out of college and it's like, oh, well, they just took the team to the next level. You're going to draft it to a terrible team for a reason. The Commanders were bad. Like,
Yeah.
And now you have a new offensive coordinator who obviously seems like he knows what he's doing with the enemy. Like you went over the weapons already. Hey, you move forward. Over to the Eagles really quick. The confidence level in them from the preseason to now. Listen, preseason, it's them and the 49ers. I still have it as them and the 49ers, don't get me wrong. But I think if you asked me before, I still would have had the Eagles over them. I would take the 49ers over the Eagles at this very moment. And the confidence level definitely isn't there. They've looked good. They've won games, but they haven't been as dominant as you would think that they will be.
They should be. They should be like 49ers level. It's not close late. It's not close. We're winning.
But then again, and we went over last week, you have a new offensive coordinator. You have a new defensive coordinator. Are the players the same? Yes. All because the person was in the building the year before does not mean he's going to step in and be like, hey, all right, do you guys' thing. Same plays as last year. Like, they're definitely changing things up. They're going to try and find their groove. I mean, listen, they still put up 34. It's not like they're having trouble scoring. No. You know, they beat the Bucs pretty handily. They beat the Vikings pretty handily. Who they play in week 1? It was the Patriots.
Patriots, yeah.
I mean, the Patriots kept it close, but I mean, the Patriots kept it close against Miami too. So is that saying something about the defense? And that's also week 1 where they were really brand new with the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. So is the confidence level the same as it was? No. But do I think it has a chance to grow and get back to that? Absolutely. I mean, I just expect I think Hurts is 22-1 in his last 23 starts. He's won 4 starts in a row, or not in a row, but he's won 4 starts. I mean, I guess there's no other way to say this than that. He's won 4 starts in a row where at one point he was down 10 points. You know what I mean when I say that?
4 games where he was down 10 points. He's won all the last 4 of those?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the longest streak since like Joe Montana, back when he was playing. So, I mean, even if they're down, they're not out of the game because the last 4 times they were down by 10 points or more, he's come back and win them.
You know, it's crazy, and it's kind of off topic, but when you said it, made me think of it. Mahomes is on another level because he did that in like 3 straight games in the playoffs to win a Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yeah, that was the year was that the Texans year?
Yeah, that was Texans, someone, and then the 49ers.
If only Jimmy knew how to throw a football.
Crazy.
You really do just go through those moments that like could change the league.
Yeah.
I mean, how many? And then it's obviously like such the butterfly effect too, because it's like, all right, so what if the 07 Patriots go undefeated? Does that mean, maybe those next few years that Brady doesn't win and like he never gets to the 7 because things change somehow?
No, trust me, what ifs are quite often thought when crossing the timeline. Like, Anthony Richardson, man, he's so good. It reminds me so much of Cam Newton. It's like, yeah. What if, man?
If only, the Colts knew how to draft offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Like, what happens to the league right now if Andrew Luck is still there?
Insane.
It's so – I still refuse to believe that he was in the league the same time as Mahomes. That makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Broncos and the Bears as we move on. Listen, Justin Fields showed out. Had an unbelievable game. 4 touchdowns. Did he? I believe he had over 300 yards. Correct?
Yep, his first 300-yard game.
I was gonna say. and they still lose because they blow a 21-point lead. I believe it was 28-7. It was at one point.
Yep.
So who really is the problem there? Is it Fields? Is it the coaching staff? Like, what are we doing, Josh?
Yeah, it's a tough spot, but it's the coaching, man. Like you just see, like what Fields just did, he can do that on a consistent basis. It's obvious. The talent is there. It's not that he just can't throw the ball. It's that the concepts and the inconsistent play calling. There's no groove in the offense. There was this week. Like they saw what they could take advantage of and stayed on it, rather than trying to run the offense they want to run, rather than what they should. So I think it's the front. The clock management late in this game was so stupid. You're up 14, and there was like 7 minutes left or something crazy, and we're just throwing the ball every down. Like you love to run the ball. Let's run it now. We have a good lead. Let's close this game out. And then we're rolling Fields out on a bootleg when they're bringing pressure to stop the run, and it's a fumble 6, and now it's a tie game, and it's not going well at all. Not good.
I also need an explanation on why they didn't kick the field goal.
Yeah, I don't know. Fourth and what?
Yeah, it's 4th and 1, and they just
it was a longer one. Like that's the thing. Like you got to know situation. Right up the middle. Yeah, you got to know situation. Out of shotgun too, right? I think it was out of shotgun.
It might have been.
But a long 4th and 1 in a situation like that, like take the points, man. Like it's just crazy.
Because that's the thing. Like if they take the points, and once again, you're kind of living in, a what if land. But they take the points there, even if the Denver goes back down, they kick the field goal. It's tied. You're going into overtime. See what happens in overtime. But no, exactly. Now you just put your quarterback in a situation where he has to play hero ball because the coaching staff made the wrong decision. Like they made a Brandon Staley.
And if this game, if they win it, they'd be what 1-3, and what is a crazy kind of division right now. Vikings are not good.
No.
Detroit's probably the best in the division at this moment. I think they're 3-1. So, then you're just, you play the Packers eventually, you play the Vikings. And if you're 1-3 and, you keep building on what Fields just did, you maybe can turn the season around. But now you're 0-4, and I guess there is a silver lining. They're going to get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison because they got the top 2 picks. So.
I was going to say, does that kind of disgust you?
So many things disgust me with the Panthers right now. I can't even fathom talking about it without taking 2 hours. Just so many disgusting things. Brian Burns liked a Instagram picture that said, "Finding new ways to lose. I hate this team. Fire Frank Reich."
No.
Liked by Brian Burns 99. He's asked after the game, "How does this losing affect you?" The look of disgust on his face. And
what's funny? I've kind of enjoyed the honesty from players this season, where it's been I've heard more than I've ever heard in my life. You have players after the game. How does this loss affect you? All I do is lose. I'm sick of it.
I'm open. I'm always fucking open.
That too. But Josh Jacobs came out and said, "Bro, I'm so tired of losing." Devontae Adams talking about, that's not what I'm here for.
Broncos O lineman. All I've done is lose here. The
only thing I've done in my entire career is lose. For 7 years, I've lost.
God, man.
I
agree. I love the honesty. I love it.
More than ever, I'm seeing it, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
Players run the league, man. It's not shut up and play anymore. It's no, you're gonna hear what I have to say, or I'm not playing. I hate it here. Get me out.
Listen, we could talk about the Broncos, Josh. I know you put it here in the.
I think they're both fired. I think they're both gone after the season.
You think Wilson and Sean Payton?
You got to cut it off, man. I know you gave up all these assets for both of them. It's not working. Start the rebuild now. Suck so bad.
But they came back and won.
They suck.
What if this is a spark?
No. That defense is doggy doo-doo. You're taking the Jets because of that defense.
Yes.
Exactly. And Russell Wilson is not amazing either.
It's just a bad situation. I really
Devontae hurt his hip.
That is true. Just a mess.
Sean Payton's not a good coach anymore. I don't think he's a good coach anymore.
I find it funny though, like after the game too, who was it, Jerry Judy, like attacking all the like former Bronco players that were talking
Yeah.
smack. Like, listen, I know you just won the game, but calm down. You're 1-3 and you got 70 put up on your team.
Yeah, he should not have won that game.
Like,
should not have won that game.
You just had to make a 21-point comeback against the Bears. Like,
yeah.
Can we be honest with each other? Is this really? I mean, maybe if they make the playoffs, like, yeah, all you people that were talking about is after we lost by 50. What now? You beat the
Funny
Bears.
too, because Matt Eberflus, the first 7 minutes of his press conference today, all Chase Claypool questions. Like I watched the full 7 minutes. Every single question was about Chase Claypool. Is he traded? What's happening? And Eberflus the whole time was like, Ryan Poles, he handles transactions and trades. Like the whole time he was like, don't ask me.
Pick of the second round they gave up for him.
Pick 30.
And now they're looking for a 6th or 7th, right? They said.
Yes, something like that.
I mean,
to be fair, Chase Claypool, talent-wise, is worth that pick. Just hasn't put it together since he looked.
I don't feel like he was that special in Pittsburgh.
For groundwork to go up from there, like we can only improve. Like we can get better. Future. God, I think if I had pick 33 and like Chase Claypool was in that draft, I'd probably draft him was pick 33.
All right. But we go on. There's our last topic before we get into some of the other aspects of the show that we always do. Texans upset the Steelers. Colts were this close to completing a 23-point comeback against the Rams. 2 franchise quarterbacks, possibly. 2 head coaches, 2 good head coaches that we believe in. We think, at least. Obviously, they're new, too. Josh, which future is brighter for you?
Yeah, I'm going with the Texans. I really like what I'm seeing over there for a couple of reasons. I think a head coach like DeMeco Ryans is kind of like built to win a lot of games. The way this team just believes when they really shouldn't have too much of a reason to. I mean, you just traded up for picks 2 and 3. You're a young team. The O-line is
beat up. Will Anderson, by the way? I haven't really been paying too much attention.
He made a couple plays, but he looks like a rookie. He looks like a rookie out there. There's a lot of reasons why guys like Jalen Carter, like why he's playing really good for the Eagles, because he's just got to play his game. Like, just go win. We got other guys to cover everything else. You're like the 4th best player on this D line right now. For guys like Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson, they gotta go out there and play the game.
Not a believer in Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I'm not either. I'm not gonna lie. Then again, I was gonna say, you don't know because Matt Canada is there. Josh, you know that they haven't had a 400-yard game since he's been there?
He's not good at calling plays.
30 games. 30 games. Or it's something crazy like that. I think it's 30 games. They've been under 300 yards in 3 of the last 4 games. And that every other team in the league has at least like 4 400-yard games or something of that nature. Or like somebody did the math that in that same time, it's like 9.5 400-yard games per team since the Steelers last had a 400-yard game. Total yards.
Do I think Kenny Pickett is going to be like a top 10 quarterback? No. But I think he can be a starter in this league for a long time. But I need to see him in an offense to prove it first. Doesn't have a chance really here. I mean, they're running the most vanilla offense you can run, and nothing ever happens until George Pickens gets the ball. So at least George Pickens is the guy. Maybe Matt Canada opens it up for him, but probably not. But I'd go with the Texans because I think DeMeco Ryans has that team bought in, 4 years ahead of probably what we all thought they should be buying in. The offense, obviously, CJ Stroud's the talk all over. He's just been balling out, on pace to throw for over 5,000 yards. Still hasn't thrown a pick in his first 150 plus. I mean, he's been balling out. Tank Dell looks like kind of a steal in the draft. He's a good gadget guy for them. Dameon Pierce has looked really good this game too. I'd go with the Texans. I think they have less to worry about. I think you got the quarterback, you got the running back, you got a okay defense for now to where you can add on to it rather than we have to do so many other things. For the Colts, I mean, they got to keep Anthony Richardson alive first. Like he's got to be able to play. I saw it firsthand, man. Tell him get down, like discipline him. If he
This
does
man,
not get
Trevor
down or go
Lawrence,
up
after
down,
one game, said,
like
"Bro, do me a favor,
get out.
please slide."
Like I think they're set up too. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, he's practicing Wednesday,
He is
might play
practicing
Sunday,
Wednesday.
might play Sunday. Um, their receivers, Michael Pittman is very good. Alec Pierce, we still have to see what he becomes. That defense doesn't have too much either, other than like Buckner and Kenny Moore is okay. I just think they have a lot more to deal with. But having an offensive-minded head coach, sets you up for years. When you got that's why I said like franchise quarterbacks, because these are two guys where I think their head coaches fit them perfectly. Like I think D'Amico Ryan's being there, knowing that CJ's got it already, and giving him full control of this offense, letting him let it rip, throwing it so many times already. And then the Colts with Anthony Richardson, you could see how dynamic that offense is going to be because Shane Steichen is that good. And when you have an offensive-minded head coach and a young quarterback, you're basically setting yourself up for another decade unless something crazy happens. Because when he's already locked up as the head coach and not the OC, you don't got to worry about him leaving for a head coaching job because he's already there. But when you got a really good offensive coordinator, you do have to worry about him leaving. So already having the guy as the head coach is good. But I think both these teams are set up for success, but I'd probably buy more stock into the Texans. But we get to see them go head-to-head, so many times a year now, which is beautiful.
Exactly. I mean, I'd probably buy stock in the Texans more than the Colts, mainly because CJ Stroud has looked better and he hasn't been hurt yet. Like Anthony Richardson has already been hurt. That's concerning. And if you don't find that concerning, I feel like you're kind of lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Because if this man's getting hurt already, then what's going to happen as those hits really start piling up? It's been 4 games. He's already missed one. So what's going to happen 2 years from now when he's had, 120 hits of, 300.
These flags don't fly and the defenders don't lay off the bigger quarterbacks. When you're moving like a running back, don't take it easy and the flags aren't flying because you don't look as, I'm a quarterback, I got hit. Anthony Richardson does not look like that.
And you can only protect a quarterback so much. Like they do obviously an unbelievable job of protecting quarterbacks in the NFL now. We all know that. Like, most people probably think too much.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, it's different too because he's a runner. When you're out of the pocket running, you don't get the quarterback protection thing where it's like, oh yeah, well, he hit me a little hard here. You're a runner now. It doesn't matter.
And when you don't give yourself up, you are just a runner. Like you're not. You got to give yourself up if you want those whistles. And Anthony Richardson is not a guy that gives himself up. So hopefully he can learn to do that sometimes to start. Like let's just work on it a couple plays. Let's slide. The extra 3 yards is nice, but your health is better. So let's settle for that.
You actually being able to be on the field would be fantastic.
Even though Gardner, love seeing Gardner out there, love it, but we don't want him out there.
Wonderful mustache. Speaking of wonderful and all those good things, let's get into our. We basically do players of the week, but we start off with quarterbacks. Josh, I'll go first on this one, and listen, give me Justin Herbert. I'm a big Justin Herbert guy. Man put on an unbelievable performance, and I don't care what he did, but the fact that he iced the game with a 50-yard dot with I don't even know on his other hand because I think he broke a finger or something. Man did a sprint. Catches the ball, 50-yard dot, iced the game. Most people just get the first down here. That's all we need. No. 50-yard bomb right into the hands.
Kind of wish they lost these last 2 games, though.
I still do.
Staley be out of there if they lost to the Vikings.
They tried to lose it again. They did another. What did they do? A QB sneak or something like that in this one that backfired. And then the only reason it turned out good is because what was his name? Like Aiden something for the
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell threw an interception to Asante Samuel Jr. He doesn't throw the interception. They score a touchdown. You lost another game.
Yeah. Yeah, tough. I'm going with Justin Fields, 28 to 35, 335 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 carries, 25 yards. Beautiful game from him. Just love to see it. Love to see a good quarterback in Chicago. Hopefully they don't give up on him too early, and if they do, cool. Get Caleb Williams. I would say I'd go to Barry games a lot, but those tickets would go crazy
Really?
if Caleb Williams came. If Caleb
Oh,
Williams
I thought
wasn't
you meant
strong,
right now. I thought you meant right now. I was like, how are
no,
Bears tickets
the
expensive?
no that game. One of my friends was at that game. He was very close to the game, and
Oh,
I don't think he's a millionaire or anything. Those tickets weren't too expensive. I mean, sure they were pricey because he was close, but compared to a lot of
well,
other tickets,
yeah. All right. Who would be your offensive player of the week?
I'm going with Derrick Henry. 22 carries, 122 yards, a rushing touchdown, and a passing touchdown. That Titans offense killed Cincinnati, and Cincinnati.
3 points. 3 points.
Uh-oh.
Worst offense in the league, Josh.
Jamar
Worse
Chase
than
was
the,
going
worse than the
second.
Steelers.
In
They're
most
having.
drafts, Jamar Chase went second.
Oh, I know.
Jamar Chase went second.
I was really hoping that he went second in our draft so I could have my offensive player of the week, and that would be Christian McCaffrey. Because, I mean, easy pick. You know, nothing special here. But, I mean, are you not blessed to just be able to watch the guy play?
It's bittersweet for me, so I guess.
But, yeah. But, like, you know, one of those things that you'll be like, yeah,
happy for you.
I got to watch CMC play football. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
When my kids are talking about, you know, Josh, you know, whatever, I'm going to be like, yeah, he was no Christian McCaffrey, though.
That white boy can run.
Yeah, see? Defensive player of the week, you're wrong if you don't pick Khalil Mack. I mean, the man had 6 sacks in the game.
When you mentioned Aiden O'Connell, I was going to bring him up here. Could you imagine your first start? And it's like, this Chargers defense, low-key, he's been getting carved up. Like, I could come in here, and Khalil Mack just turns back the clock.
And they were missing Derwin James and Joey Bosa. So their defense is already getting carved up, and they're missing 2 of their best players. I would walk into that game and be like, oh, Mom, Dad, get the camera. I'm going crazy today.
Khalil Mack just turned back the clock on him.
Man, Khalil Mack became it. Oh, my God.
That's the most terrifying start you could. He's never going to be good now. You can't come back from that.
I mean, how could you?
You can't ever stand in the pocket again and not be like, is Khalil there?
Talk about seeing ghosts. Shout out Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I'm with Khalil Mack too. 10 total tackles, but 6 sacks. He had none. Now he is tied for first in the league.
I mean, insane stuff. Absolutely insane. All right. What is next? Oh, you got anybody to put some respect on their name, Josh? Anybody?
No respect yet. Couple guys on the radar, but no respect yet.
Yeah, I got a couple on the radar as well. How about our prayer circle? Anybody?
I think us.
Why?
Our teams suck.
Dude. Oh, I mean,
our teams suck.
Fucking 35 points to the Cowboys. Unbelievable. Whatever. I'm not even disgusted.
There was a big injury.
I mean, there's been 90. There were 95 injuries this week.
Yeah,
Teron Armstead, Christian Gonzalez, and Matt Judon. Stafford hurt his hip. T. Higgins with a rib.
T. Higgins. That's another prayer for me as well. There's my fantasy team.
Tre'Davious White.
That one was bad. Those non-contact ones scare me every time, man. Those are the worst.
What was it, an Achilles, right?
Yeah, I think so.
After this man just battled back from an ACL like a year ago. Hate to see that. All right. With that being said, we will get into the pick segment. Prayers for Mac. I don't know if that's Mac Jones, because I need prayers for him. Trash can. That's a different story for a different day. I'm not mad about it or anything.
I don't know if there's a different day. I don't want to talk about our teams ever again.
I mean, listen, I'm not exactly against it. All right. Our week 5 picks. Josh, how did we do last week?
Well, we both went 11-4. I picked the Ravens. You picked the Browns, and that's the issue with picking a Monday. There's no signs of Deshaun not playing.
Yeah, like,
Uh,
come on. I feel like I should get a.
No, because you didn't say it beforehand. I gave you Joe Burrow. That's the only one reason you're tied. That's because I gave you the Joe Burrow last Monday.
Which did not even look like it was going to help me anyway.
Yeah, it really didn't, but it did in the end. And then you picked, what was the other one? You picked New Orleans. You picked Tampa. I took New Orleans. Yeah, I took the Saints. Yeah,
Well, and that was because I didn't think. And that was because I didn't think Derek Carr was going to play, and he ended up playing.
I know. Yeah.
I got one. I got one on this board that might not shock you, but I still think will surprise you.
Okay.
I think. All right, we started off Thursday night. The Bears are going to play the Commies. I'm going with the Commanders here. I believe that'll be about 15 straight losses for the Bears.
I'm just taking a look at the board.
Uh-huh.
And there's one that you said kind of is going to shock me?
Maybe. I think it's shocking. But then again, the way that things have gone this year, maybe not.
I'll go with Washington. I'm curious.
The Saints and my Patriots. Games at home. Nah, you know what? I'm going Saints. No Judon, no Christian Gonzalez. I mean,
the Lighthouse. Alvin Kamara had 13 catches for 34 yards.
Yeah, that is insanity.
That's the most by 30-plus yards. Like, the least amount of yards on that many catches. Who'd you take? New Orleans?
Yeah.
Me too.
Josh, can you believe that the Jags are in foggy London town 2 weeks in a row?
How'd you enjoy the Toy Story stream?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I tuned in for about 4 plays. If I was a child, I would have loved it. I still kind of enjoyed it. Not gonna lie. I thought it did what it had to do. The animation of Bijan juking him out, fantastic. The Trevor Lawrence scramble is literally the exact same thing as the real life version, which is obviously what they were going for in the beginning. But I thought it was pretty good.
I missed it. I did not wake up in time for it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm so committed, Josh. I set an alarm.
I did too, but it's 8:30 for me, dog. That's way too. After a long Saturday night of
9:30 is still early for the kid. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, but imagine that 9:30. But imagine being like, oh wait, the game's at 8:30. That's tough. That is tough.
So you slept through the whole game?
No, I woke up around like halftime, but I didn't turn it on. I didn't turn it on.
This guy, unbelievable.
I was chill. I need some time to wake up before I get up and move it. I'm not quick out of bed. I just jump.
I woke up immediate.
I also don't have a remote for my TV though. It's a get up, turn it on.
Oh yeah, nah. See, that would have been clipped.
Yeah,
give me the Bills though.
Me too.
The Titans and the Colts. Interesting one here. Colts have obviously been playing pretty well. Titans with a big win over the good old Bengals. I'll go with the Colts though.
I'll go with the Titans.
All right, Josh. Bengals are going to visit the Cardinals. And this is the one that I thought might surprise you. I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Really? This is how bad the Bengals are?
Yeah, I really think it is. Listen, the Cardinals have played everybody tough. They've been in every game. Now, did they get bodied by the 49ers? Yeah, but that doesn't even really count. You know, because of how good the 49ers are. Bengals just don't look right.
No.
I think the Cardinals, no T. Higgins now, a Burrow that's still injured.
No way. But you're right. That's the issue here, is that you're so right. It can't be that bad.
You would think.
Like it was shocking the way they came out against the Giants, the way they beat the Cowboys, but this cannot happen. Like the shocking can't continue. Ugh. Give me the Cardinals.
No
Just not
way.
not worth the risk. Are you kidding me?
This guy is a loser.
This guy that wouldn't even take his guy Josh Allen last week. Sorry, I won't take the banged up Bengals.
I've never been more disgusted.
How?
You always come at me for not taking risks.
We're both picking the Cardinals. How are we both not taking a risk? Like we could look so stupid when Joe Burrow goes for 350.
Oh, no, he's going to throw for 450. Jamar Chase going to have 200 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns.
I'm actually taking the bigger risk riding with you. Because then I look double stupid because I believed in you and the Cardinals.
Let's see who we believe in when the Texans go and visit the Falcons, because it's pretty easy for me. We just talked about it. Houston.
I agree.
Your Panthers are going to lose to the Lions.
Yeah, what about it?
I just want making sure you confirm it. The Dolphins are going to beat the Giants. A little bounce back.
Yep.
This is another one that, like, low key should not be close. But the way things have gone this year, the Eagles at the Rams. I mean, listen, I think Cooper Kupp might be back too.
Do it. Then you have to pick him. That would be so disgusting. If you
I don't know if he's back though. It's Monday.
If Cooper Kupp is back, you take the Rams. Let's do that.
I'll take the Eagles either way.
If Cooper Kupp is back.
Until they prove me wrong.
That is disgusting. You're disgusting.
No, listen.
He's the best in the league.
You copied me on a Cardinals pick that nobody else in their right mind.
He's the best in the league. Won't even pick him.
His first game back from injury. Maybe he'll be on a pitch count.
But I thought Puka Nacua was amazing too.
Oh, no, he's a dog.
So you got 2 of them on the field.
I'm pretty sure he's on I think he's on pace for more yards than, like, the top 2 receiving yardage years in history. Like, already. Who's the offensive rookie of the year right now? Is it him or Stroud?
Stroud. Well, I mean, I don't know. What's more impressive?
And you lead the league in receptions and
it's Stroud. It's Stroud. 2-2 as the Texans. Got to be Stroud.
Leading the league in receiving yards and receptions right now, though?
Yeah, miss me with the dink and dunks.
Jets and the Broncos. We're both going Jets here. We discussed that a little bit. Chiefs and the Vikings. The Vikings can't get out of their own way. I believe this is the Sunday night game because I did mess up this graphic. I'm not going to lie. But Sunday night, Dallas goes to take on those 49ers. The good old rivalry that's been going on. 49ers just continue to beat them, and they will beat them again.
This feels like one of those where it's just I should go against you. Just feels like it. But you have not given me a lot of other opportunities here.
I gave you the Bengals.
No, don't even. Why'd you pick the Cardinals? Like I want to give Josh a win. That's what you're making it sound like.
It was my big upset of the week.
It's probably. I'm checking the spread right now.
It's the 3-point spread.
So get off me about an upset of the week. 3-point spread.
Is it an upset if they win?
3-point spread? Is it
an upset though? Is it an upset though?
Currently, no.
But you're just wrong. Now you're hating.
The Bengals suck right now. The Cardinals have been a competent football team.
It's still the Bengals.
Is it?
Maybe not. Anyway, who are you picking? Make a decision.
I'm thinking about it.
God, this guy takes forever.
I'm sorry. Didn't know I was the one that's late all the time.
Hey, listen,
Give me the Cowboys.
who's the one that makes this beautiful graphic every week, Josh?
I'm sorry. Did you calculate the wins and losses?
But would we
Did you
even
go
have?
back? Did
Hold
you
on.
remember in that little spot in the back of your mind? Don't forget Monday's game from a week ago.
Josh, we wouldn't even have to. We wouldn't even be doing that if it wasn't for this beautiful graphic. We wouldn't even have anywhere to display your record.
If my memory serves me correctly, the pick segment was around long before the graphic was around.
Yeah, and guess what? And we never even really knew our records. All I know is I beat you 3 years consecutive. 40 or the Ravens at the Steelers.
I'm trying to get off. That's why I couldn't even say a comeback. You're disgusting. You're disgusting.
Ravens at the Steelers, Josh.
This isn't a question. Next.
You don't believe in Matt Canada?
No, not one bit.
And finally, the Raiders are going to take on the Packers.
What?
Watch you. I'm not gonna lie. I said that forgetting that I usually pick first because I got distracted.
I was like, what is he doing?
I got distracted by the TV. I'm not gonna lie. But
is Jimmy G okay?
He was in concussion protocol. He should be out of it. I'll go with the Raiders. Revenge game for Devontae Adams.
Why would you? Give me the Raiders.
This guy.
You're disgusting, bro.
How is it my fault? So what? The only one we disagreed on was the Titans?
No, I took the Cowboys.
Oh, you did. Thanks for the easy win.
But you took some huge risk going Arizona.
I did, and then you ruined it by taking them as well. Makes me sick to my stomach.
Stupid. You think I'm stupid?
I mean, if you want me to be honest with you or not?
Yeah, do you think I'm stupid?
I think that you can find me on Twitter, Anthony Conover _. Make sure you follow at Gen Z Sports. And make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because that helps out with the algorithm and everything. We're trying to get famous.
3.8 GPA, by the way. Just putting that out there.
Oh, yeah?
No, it wasn't. Follow me on Twitter at Jolin _4. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, make sure you go check out MNC Hoops with the NBA season coming up. They will be talking all things hoops. Make sure you head on over to Underdog. Use code GenZ. Double your first deposit up to $100. And tune in Monday, 7 Eastern.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.